It's the horror franchise we all know and love with surprising origins, the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. Now you're probably going to be asking, what is Five Nights at Freddy's? Five Nights at Freddy's franchise made its debut in 2014, made by a Christian game developer, Scott Cawthon, who originally worked on games like Pilgrim's Progress and a few others. But Scott Cawthon got so much hate on all of his games because apparently they all had one thing in common. The characters just look too creepy for a kid's game. Honestly, when I get some backlash on something, I get a little bothered by it. And while Scott was definitely bothered by it, he actually did something surprising. He turned the hate into a horror game. Yes, really. And Scott was really surprised by how successful the series became. I mean, within the span of a year, he made 4 games. Within a year. That's impressive. Now, what exactly is the series about? Well, it commonly follows this pattern. You place a security guard at this place known as Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Think of it very similar to Chuck E. Cheese. And much like Chuck E. Cheese, the main attractions there are the animatronics. But these animatronics are unlike any other regular animatronic. You see, they have something in them that shouldn't be inside them. But now that you know the very brief history of the character, I figured it was time to discuss what if Freddy Fazbear, the icon of horror indie games, joined Smash. But now that begs the question, how could you make a character that doesn't fight in his own game fight in Smash? While coming up with a moveset for this character, I did realize something. He doesn't necessarily have to have just Smash originals. Quite a lot of stuff that happens in the game could be used as attacks. Plus, I don't want him to break character. I want him to be a scary character. Not necessarily for playing the character, but rather for the opponent, striking fear into them. But now that we got that out of the way, let's discuss more about what Freddy would be like. First up, let's talk about his alternate color schemes. His first default appearance would be his normal look in the very first Five Nights at Freddy's game. His second color would have him in a purplish, bluish color, as well as some red in it. This is a reference towards Bonnie the Bunny. Yes, despite the name of Bonnie being a girl's name, Bonnie is indeed male. For the next alternate color scheme, he gets golden colors, or more specifically yellow, and his hat and bow tie turn purple, which is actually referencing 2 specific characters. This mainly is inspired by Chica the Chicken. Now, a little fact about her is, she loves to eat.
But keep an eye on your pizza,
'cause I'm a bird who likes to eat! Nom 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 nom!
I have a lot of questions, like, where does the food go? But the purple hat and bow tie are a reference to Fredbear, arguably the most creepiest animatronic I have ever seen. And the final one for regular Freddy is the bright red one, which references Foxy, the pirate of the group. And also the glitchiest one, the one who gives me a heart attack every time I play in VR. But for the last 4 alternate costumes, they will change his appearance to Glamrock Freddy, based on Glamrock Freddy from the recent Five Nights at Freddy's game called Security Breach. The first alternate color scheme gives him a grayish look and gives him a little bit of red paddings as well as some purple sleeves. This is a reference towards the very prideful, yet somehow very creepy animatronic Roxanne Wolf. The next color scheme gives Freddy a completely different style of color, giving him a green look with a little bit of purple, in reference towards Montgomery Gator, probably the scariest one out of them all in Security Breach. The reason? He's just so destructive. And the final one gives Freddy a completely white makeover with a little bit of green and purple, I guess you could say, leg sleeves. And this is a reference towards Glamrock Chica. So yeah, Chica gets more recognition than Bonnie, sadly. Now with costumes out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into Freddy's special moves. Now when coming up with this moveset, I was trying to keep in mind on not breaking the character. Basically, I want all the moves to be fitting for this character. Almost every character in Smash has a move that's right for their character. For instance, Mario's Fireball is unique to Mario, unless of course you're Luigi. And while it may sound like I'm ripping off of some other character's special moves, I will have my own unique twist to it. For instance, his neutral special. His neutral special is Bite of 87. It functions a lot like Wario's, except unlike Wario's, Freddy Fazbear's Bite will be a lot heavier, which means it will be a lot slower, but it deals a lot more damage. Plus, randomly, poisonous effects will occur when the player is bitten. This is a reference towards probably one of the most shocking things ever shown in the Five Nights at Freddy's games. Yeah, I honestly did not want to include that, but it's just too iconic to not include. Now moving on to something that's less morbid, we move on to the Phaser Blaster. Now we are going to have to break a few rules with this move. For instance, the fact that Gregory, the main protagonist of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, he's the only one who can use it. But in this game, Freddy will be all alone and he will be using the Phaser Blaster. This side special will work a lot like Kazuya's, and you can move it up or down, and it goes straight across the stage. However, holding the special button down longer will charge it up, and it will shoot not just faster, but it will shoot a lot more powerfully. Now for Freddy's down special. It'll be jump scare. For this attack, Freddy charges up, and you'll hear metal clanking to signal when it's getting stronger or not. When you hear a bunch of rattling noises happen, he's about to scream. And when he does, it does a lot of knockback damage. And much like the neutral special, sometimes a poisonous effect will happen. But sometimes, if the player is over 100%, they get an instant KO. For the up special, he'll use the power of balloons. Typical for any birthday party, really. In fact, Freddy will actually use about 5 balloons. It functions exactly like Villager's up special, which means it can be popped. But unlike Villagers, Freddy can then respawn 5 more, twice. But now for the final smash. This is where things get really complicated. It could be a simple power outage, but honestly, that just seems way too boring. But there are a lot of ideas you could use for this final smash. The scooping room, ultimate custom night, the blob. Wait a second, the blob! That's it! The final smash will be the blob! In this final smash, Freddy automatically does a huge jump scare, surrounding a huge shockwave around him. Anybody caught in this shockwave will then be sent into a cinematic final smash. We will then see the blob show up and quickly take him up into the Mall of Security Breach. But this mall is on fire! And much like the Mighty Eagle Final Smash from my last video, anybody who's over 100% damage is KO'd! This Final Smash originated in the game Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach in the true fire ending. And in the background you see Gregory and Freddy running away. Now another thing that's really difficult with adding a Five Nights at Freddy's character into Super Smash Bros. Is the stage. But thank goodness Security Breach came out. As the first in the series, you can now explore a huge mall thanks to Security Breach, and that is the stage we're going for. However, there will be references towards the older games. If not, we are going to those old locations. I'm going to be pretending that this Mega Pizzaplex has an exhibit dedicating to the original games, for instance FNAF 1 and FNAF 2. Of course we could go with FNAF 3 and 4, but for certain reasons I just decided not to do that. And much like moving stages like Skyloft, this place will indeed go from one location to another. However, instead of just going from one specific store to another, we are going to go deeper and deeper into the mall. The stage will always start off in the main birthday area, or I should say the show stage, because that's really what it is. And in the background you can see some of the animatronics, particularly the ones in Security Breach. It'll then take you to one of these locations, Monty Golf, Phaser Blast, or Roxy Raceway. But then periodically a huge arrow sign either going up or down would indicate whether or not you're going deeper beneath the mall or above the mall. However, it will never go outside, mainly because the outside was never shown officially. If it goes downwards, you will then be taken to the very first location, aka this office that I've been using in the background for quite some time. It will be a pretty dark room with only very little light shown, and periodically you could actually see in the backdrop silver eyes, which indicates an animatronic is nearby. Now this animatronic can come to the stage, however, it cannot be KO'd. As a side note, occasionally birthday gifts will show up. If you run to them and press the attack button, you get an item. However, if you're near an animatronic who's trying to get the present, it will then jump scare you, leaving you with a poisonous effect. Much like the stage, music is even tougher. The reason? There's not actually that many songs to choose from. It's always just eerie music in the backdrop, and it doesn't really feel well for battle. However, games like Five Nights at Freddy's 6, or as everybody calls it, Pizzeria Simulator, FNAF World, and Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach have quite a lot of songs to choose from. And so we are going to be choosing songs from all of those games. In total, there would be 11 new remixes and 6 original songs. I gotta be honest, that's a lot coming from Five Nights at Freddy's. But honestly, I don't care which songs get in as long as the main theme of Security Breach gets in. If that doesn't get in, I will be pretty upset. Now, I think people are probably going to be assuming that I'm going to be including fan songs. The rule is in Smash, no fan songs, only songs that have originated in that game. And while Five Nights at Freddy's may not have some of the most iconic songs ever, there definitely are some great songs. But of course, most of them would have to be remixed to be more fast-paced. And that would be if Freddy Fazbear joined Super Smash Bros. To be honest, while I am not a horror guy, I absolutely love the Five Nights at Freddy's series. While I absolutely hate the jump scares, I honestly love the game overall, both from its mechanical standpoint and from its story perspective. But is there a character you would absolutely love to see in Super Smash Bros? If so, let me know who exactly it is in the comments below, and I may be making a video on that specific character. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.